Welcome. Down goes Dayton. Big win for Mason. You feel the hype. We needed it. That's four in a row. Four in a row since Joe's rant on his YouTube channel at Giant Killer GMU. Four in a row since we debuted our brand new Giant Killer quarter zips. And it's great headed, just into March, feeling good. It's not the season that many of us wanted, but you rattle off four wins, get a fun one versus a top four team in the conference. It feels good, and it can change the energy of the season. This is going to be a show where we let anybody kind of pop in and chat. It is recorded just so that everybody understands if they are going to contribute. This will be posted on our YouTube channel. Joe, go ahead and hop in right away. We should have other contributors in here as well, but just a fun one, a nail biter, down to the finish. Some people are going to blame refs for it being close. We did have two bigs foul out. Ronnie stepped up. Coop got to the basket. We hit our free throws down the stretch, and Dayton didn't. So just all around, exactly what you would want to see. It was never going to be like an easy win, but it was a fun game. It was enjoyable. It was good basketball. I thought at the end there, when Kim English put in all guards and small forwards to get a basket to win the game down in the stretch. I mean, that was a good play call. We've seen a couple calls not go our way when we, on some inbound plays, etc. And I thought that was perfectly executed. And I just, again, to close the game out with defensive stops, big. So just a lot of fun, that one. Chris, if that's you under Giant Killer, feel free to go ahead and hop in. If anybody wants to kind of hop on and share your excitement, please feel free. But another game in which we kind of went as Ronnie went. When he plays well, when he's getting to the bucket, when he's taking care of the basketball, good things happen for the squad. And it was another game in which Ronnie just kind of stepped up and did what he had to do in crunch time. So, we got a good amount of people in here. Again, if you're just joining, this is recorded. So, just keep that in mind when speaking. I just popped a beer. So if you guys are drinking, go ahead and hit me with an emoji. And it is time to have some fun. Jonesy, is that you behind the GK handle?
Yeah, you know it. I just popped in, just still wrapping up just finished a Ronnie graphic, but man, he was sort of the MVP of the night. I mean, what can you say? That just when you thought like Ronnie was going to be Ronnie for the night and he had that sort of dumb turnover late, like to come back down the court and get the ball back. That was to me like the entire game. Like that was just absolutely huge. And then just Coop was like, I mean, it was a tonight was about Coop and Ronnie. Like that was the team. Like we didn't get much from Ticket. Josh was here and there. He provided some valuable minutes when he was out there, but obviously fouled out. Malik was decent, but obviously Holmes like feasted all night. So like tonight was all about Coop and Ronnie, and two guys that are hot or cold. Like we kind of go how they go at times. They absolutely just came up clutch. And, so many times this season we've seen them kind of falter late, or, we have a dumb turnover late, or someone misses a late three and it collapses, and we're just like, same old Mason. But like I honestly think that we've turned a corner. Something happened. Something happened.
Well, we
What was
got
the first?
blown out.
No. What was the first game of this four-game winning streak? Was it GW or
UMass. No, it was Rhodey. It was the home game against Rhodey.
home game against Rhodey? And then we had that game against GW where we just executed a perfect game plan from Kim. And then and these were all expected wins. LaSalle was a great win, but we're at home. We got a homecoming crowd. Tonight was the win of the A10. Ultimately, it could be the win of the year. I mean, I think we posed a question earlier this week. What was our best win of the year? What was our signature win? Is it going to be like Hofstra, Tulane, Toledo? It's like now it's this game. Like Dayton at Dayton with 14,000 people in attendance on a Saturday night, a hostile environment. We showed up. It was a fantastic game too. This wasn't like some rock fight bullshit game. Like we actually were playing tit for tat basketball with one of the best teams in the conference. So yeah, I'm cracking a beer. This is amazing. Dom got engaged. Like everything's
Wait, he
going.
did?
Yeah. So
Tom got engaged?
Dom got engaged. It's like he saw
God.
us win and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna put a ring on this finger.
Dude, Giant Killer is getting old.
Yeah. So
but yeah, I mean, if you look at Ronnie Polite, I mean, the guy played 38 minutes, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Best stat, perfect from the free throw line.
yeah.
Hit big free throws down the stretch. He just kind of did it all. And then Cooper, a big bucket there at the end. I definitely thought that was an and one. I guess they called it on the ground. But also another 35-minute performance, 16, 5 rebounds, which was huge. And also just kind of flashed defensively, kind of really like snuck in there in a double team multiple times, and just played really hard again, I thought. And then games, another 38 minutes. So the boys stepped up, played a ton. And then I thought, during this kind of 4-game winning streak, I've seen things from Saquon that I like.
Saquon's first half was huge. I mean, he was huge in making sure that we were tit for tat in that first half too. I mean, 6 points, 4 boards, and an assist in the first half. You can't really ask for much better than that from him.
Yeah. Joe, are you drinking?
No, I'm not drinking.
A root beer, at least.
No drinking. No drinking yet.
So
I'm just so happy. I'm so happy.
I could tell.
I'm so happy.
The way that you can tell that Liam is happy is that he's putting out dope content. This man dropped like 4 videos in a week. You knew he was psyched. Liam, how are you feeling right now after a road win versus Dayton?
I feel great, and I'm going to drop another bomb. Kim English will be joining this Spaces whenever he wraps up the win in the locker room. He will be joining this Spaces.
Wow. So if you're here, stick around for Kim English. Multiple times now we've had players pop in. We had Jordan Miller pop in, coaches. And so hopefully Kim English is going to swing by the Spaces. That is quite the bomb. If you have a question, go ahead and type it down. I don't know if we're going to let randoms talk to them, but do type it in down there in the bottom right where you see that kind of the comment section, and I'll try to get to that. But again, I thought, first of all, I love watching Dayton Twitter meltdown. Like, it's just fun. They are all going to call for Anthony Grant's head. I love it. Enjoy it. It's fun to watch Sully meltdown. And then also, you just have to look at us defensively over this 4-game stretch, and we're much improved. Now, I did think we gave up probably too many open 3-pointers again, but F it. It worked. We played tough today. And I thought that our help side defense, besides I think we let Holmes go one-on-one too much, but, you knew he was going to eat, so you just kind of let him. And I do really wish that, Duro and Henry could have stayed in the game. I mean, multiple times they were like whining as if they didn't foul, but, you clearly saw on the replay they would foul shooters. So, I would like to see them kind of stay out of foul trouble more, but I like the way Kim English is aggressive with his players when they're in foul trouble. You need Oduro on the court. And he put him back in there late in the second half, and he immediately took it to Holmes' chest and got a bucket. And that's what you need from him. So, I just thought that Kim English coached a really good game. I think we're seeing the progression of his coaching as this season ends. As Chris mentioned, the defensive performance against GW. I believe that was the only time they didn't score 60 all year. I think that's what Joe said. And I feel like we're just kind of seeing it kind of click. Do I think we're great? No, but I feel like you're seeing it kind of come together at the right time. Nobody wanted to be playing on Tuesday, I believe, is the first round now, and hopefully we can avoid that. And it's just exciting.
We all but have this win. We can't lose any more than 9 games now, and at 9, even if we would to break all of our hearts and I think go 9-9, I think Tuesday is pretty much out of the question at this point.
It's completely out of the question. Let's get real. And now we're, our sights are on, and I don't know how realistic it is. I mean, we got to see like the numbers crunch out, but like, I don't know like how like possible the 5th or 4th seed is, but it's not like the final 2 games are like Fordham's going to be a tough matchup, but we're at home, and then you have Richmond who can kind of give you a tough game or a dud on any given night, and we'll be down there away to finish off the season. So I think guaranteed we're going to finish at least in that 6-7 range, in my opinion. So,
Joe, how did you feel towards the end of the game? Were you melting down or were you confident?
My heart was going like a million miles a minute, so I was kind of just making sure I wasn't like on the precipice of dying at that rate. But no, I mean, when we lost Josh, obviously that kind of felt like, man, are we going to be able to deal with this? But incredible credit. This team, their issue for most of this entire year has been closing out games. I mean, ODU, SLU, Bonnie's, GW at home, Joe's at home. It was just like the final 5 minutes of every one of those losses was just a collapse. But whatever has happened to this team in the last 2 weeks has totally flipped around what they've done in these late game situations. The team just looks so much more confident, and I love the fact that we won on a Coop bucket that was him driving to the basket. If that doesn't show the growth of a player, even an old dog like Coop, the saying is you can't teach old dogs new tricks, but that's a credit to KE. It's a credit to the staff that they put pressure on him to get better at driving to the basket and become more fit and to gain stamina. And all of that paid off tonight for him. And I thought he was great.
Joe.
Almost on the same level as Ronnie in how important he was, I thought, tonight.
Joe, what if I told you this morning that at the end of the game, Holmes would have 34 and 6, and Josh would be in foul trouble most of the game, and give us, what do you have, 12 points? Like, what would you think the outcome of the game would be if I told you that?
I would have thought we would have lost by 8 to 10 points,
right?
Maybe even more.
I mean, just to see what Coop and Ronnie did, stepping up in the absence of Josh, even though Josh provided valuable minutes when he was in the game, but. Again, just huge night from both of them. Like that, and that's the and Ticket was, everybody else offensively was fine and efficient, but man, Ronnie just on both ends of the court, fantastic.
That interception at the end of the game should be an interception that like goes down in history. of this recent Mason run. Like that should be run on every like pre-game like hype clip that they do in the stadium. Like that should be the play that they run. Not a dunk, not anything, just the absolute brains, the IQ, the intensity to be able to get around a screen and make the biggest play of the game. Like that was huge. That won us the game. And, we all credit to Ronnie. He's had to face a lot of criticism from dummies like me at points in the year, but he has, I think, absolutely risen to the occasion in these last couple of games, and I am fully back on the train.
You are back on the Ronnie train, or are you back on the Mason train?
I've always been on the Mason train. I think back on the Ronnie train.
Okay.
Is the correct answer there.
Okay. I love it. Who is behind the Mason recruiting handle? Is that you, David?
It is.
David, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm great, man. Great night. Great win. Hard to believe that when Josh went out, I kind of my hopes went away. But what a closing effort, man. What a performance by Ronnie. What a performance by Coop. Fantastic minutes from Saquon. Holmes was a hell of a load to deal with tonight, and what an effort by him as well. But that's something we hadn't really seen us do yet is close out against a good team, which I consider Dayton to be a good team. I think somebody was asking a little bit earlier what the difference has been over the last 4 games, and you know what? I think it's the mindset side.
Oh boy.
I think that everybody needs to in the student section Wednesday night. I think everyone needs to have mindset signs. There's no way we can lose if that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely feel like to start the season, there was times where we kind of looked lethargic, where it didn't seem like full energy, and now you see it. You see the hype. You see the intensity in a double team. I mean, Coop had a backdoor steal today that led to a fast break, where it was just all heart. And Ronnie, towards the end there, was bringing the ball up, got hit, glasses came off, loses the ball, went diving for it, drew a foul. Like, that type of heart is going to win you games. And I feel like in this 4-game stretch, I've seen a different mindset. And so there is something to be said that, we have shown that we have some heart. And it's fun to end a season like this. It's fun, especially coming off homecoming. Great crowd, great time. We had a whole week to prepare for Dayton. You don't want to come out with a loss, having a whole week to prepare for a team. Thought we played very well. Like, I was cool with letting Holmes get his. He scored tough buckets. He scored through contact. He got fouled all night long. He drew the foul well. We forced him to play a really good game, and it kind of took them away from the perimeter shots. When they went on that 11-1 run, I thought the game was done. I thought it was over. I thought it was a wrap. And we came back. We fought. We stayed in it. And we've done that all throughout the season at times, just haven't really closed them out. And today we closed it out. And I thought we closed it out with great coaching.
Yeah. I honestly, we thought we were done tonight after that 11-1 run. We thought that season was done when we got absolutely smoked by Duquesne. That was the worst game I've ever seen, hands down.
Yeah, what dumbass went on a huge rant after that game?
We
right?
all did.
What a dummy he must have been.
No, I mean, it was justified. Like, that was the worst performance any of us have ever seen Mason basketball ever. But to respond like this,
it wasn't.
What?
It wasn't the worst performance in Mason basketball history.
Tell me, it was 75-52. Like, yeah, it was just terrible.
What was the VCU
okay, all right.
tournament? Wasn't that like 26-4
Multiple
or something?
VCU games have been worse. All right. Either way, but there's a little bit of an identity that's formed since that game, right? I think we've seen Saquon assume this new defensive role player type of he's not trying to do too much. Like, he's not trying to force up threes. He's not trying to do a bunch of. He's like comfortably getting his 6 to 7 points. He's shutting down some guys. Ronnie, over the last 4 games, 15 points, 12 points, 15 points, 22 points. He's just been getting his offensively. And Josh, up until tonight, he had been absolutely dominating. So,
and
the
he kind
theme
of
is,
dominated tonight.
yeah,
he played
did.
well. He just was in
Yeah.
foul trouble. He would have scored 20 plus if he played all game.
So, I mean,
how many assists did he finish with?
who?
Oduro.
4.
4. Yeah, I mean, geez.
I mean, that first half, he was definitely finding the open man. I mean, when he fouled out, he was quadruple teamed. Like, they were throwing everything they had at him. I wish he would have kicked it out, but when you're quadruple team, man, everyone's going to panic. So, some of his fouls I thought were iffy, but we played tough today, and sometimes that results in a ton of fouls. But needless to say that the core of Cooper, Ronnie, and Oduro during this stretch, with the role players of Saquon and Ticket, and even like Justin had a big dunk. Like we were seeing Justin going baseline, catching the rim, and so it just kind of everything you'd want to see, we got a chance to see tonight. And that's all.
I thought he looked good on defense too, Justin.
Yeah,
I thought he looked
quicker,
good there.
much faster in his defensive reads, for sure.
And I just felt like we weren't seeing that gel like over a stretch of games. Like we just didn't see consecutive stretch of games where we were seeing everyone kind of work together in unison and put up like a full 40-minute game. And like recently we're seeing it. And we're not getting explosions from randoms either. Like it's been our guys, and it's like we're kind of starting to get like reliable scoring, and it's just like we have a little bit more of an identity, I feel like.
I mean, when Ronnie had that like off the dribble 3, you just knew he was ready to score. He was ready to get to the hoop. Then he had a couple drives, kissed it off the glass. He had the play to Oduro where he got like kind of deep into the key and found Oduro in the paint. He just kind of looked like he was in control. Now, is he going to kick the ball occasionally? Yeah, like he's going to have some fumbles for sure. But I thought that he was just in control tonight.
One other question, and we've been kind of dogging this all year, but the lineups have gotten a little tighter. It doesn't feel like, we're getting these weird lineups where we're going, oh God, here we go. Here's going to be like, a 2 to 3 minute stretch where we're going to get like blown out. Like, I feel like I'm comfortable with the rotations that I'm seeing, the minutes that I'm seeing. How are you feeling?
We saw what, 9 guys tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. It should be those 9 guys every night. I don't think I want to see anyone else. Oh boy.
When Dinkins hit those 2 free throws to close the game out, I could have chugged a beer. Like I was like, a big moment for a young guy to come in, is asked to handle a lot of times. Wow. And we got the one and only Kim English entering talk with us. Coach, congratulations on a fun win tonight, 4 in a row. I think you even pointed out in our last presser that we haven't lost in the Giant Killer quarter zip, which is inspired by your fit on the bench, by the way. So Kim, welcome to our spaces. We want to say congratulations. Go ahead and come off mute and just kind of give us a quick spiel about the win.
Were you wearing the quarter zips tonight?
Of course.
I had them on.
Yeah,
I had mine on.
Yeah.
Good. That's awesome. Well, excuse me. Really good win for our group. The guys fought hard and stayed together, no matter what Dayton and the circumstances threw at them. And really proud of the guys. Battled their butts off and, found a way to win.
With Holmes, were we cool playing him one-on-one? What was our strategy to some degree going against Holmes?
Yeah, we haven't double-teamed a big man all year, and we probably won't. And they're a team that's really relying on assists. They're a team that runs a really good offense. They have great sets. We wanted to make this a one-on-one game. limit their threes. So we wanted to force Holmes into as tough contested twos as we could. He was great. He made some tough ones. He made some ones we could have done better. That's the struggle of being a coach is, do you adjust your game plan or do you do it better? And some of our coaches wanted to, we wanted to double team. I wanted us to guard them better, and we stuck with our guns and chose not to double team.
Ronnie tonight balled out, 22 points, looked like he was in control of the offense. Can you talk about him? Kind of up and down flow this season, but in his last 4 games, double-digit points at all 4, and like I said, looks like he's in control.
Yeah, Ronald is coming along. When he's healthy, he's really good, and he's normal college kid. A couple games that aren't his best, but when he's healthy, he's really good. I thought he was spectacular tonight. Maybe his best game since being here.
Coach, after the Duquesne game, everyone's sort of at a low. What did you tell the guys? What can you explain this sort of 4-game stretch where we've seen like tighter defense? Just seeing Ronnie put up points, Coop stepping up, Josh, obviously in foul trouble tonight, but overall, like, what did you say after that game that really kind of gave everyone that adrenaline shot?
I mean, I'm not sure it's what I said. It's the reality. We didn't play our best game. Duquesne is a really good team that played really well. It was Tickett's first game back. It was our first game without VJ. So not making excuses, but that's the reality of that game. And it was disappointing. But, we had to figure out our game. We weren't great, against a team that play well. And we have a slogan in our program. Obviously, we talk mindset a lot. What's your mindset every day, every moment? But whatever happens to us, it's so what, now what? So what, now what? Yeah, we lost to Duquesne. So what? Now what? We had to get better. And, we had to prepare. I can't remember who it was for. Maybe Rhode Island at home and GW, LaSalle, and now Dayton. We want to just continue to improve. That's the mindset of our group.
Can you talk about and hop off at any moment? We could ask you questions for 35 minutes, but can you talk about the impact that Ticket has coming back into the lineup?
Yeah, he was great. He gives us space. Obviously, what he does defensively is incredible. He can guard anyone on the court any night. But the space that he gives us is really good. Made a big 3 early in the second half. But even when he's not making shots or taking shots, the space, having him on the court opens up opportunities for Josh inside. It opens up driving lanes for those guys. And he can guard anyone. He wants to guard anyone. He takes pride in his defense. He's a really good player, and we're really lucky to have Ticket games.
Coach, looking ahead, I know that we were able to see VJ, shooting around. Is he still progressing, coming along? Is he still sort of, expected to maybe return around the A10 tournament?
Yeah, we hope so. He's going to go through his process. It'll be around 4 or 5 weeks, when it's time for Brooklyn, and he'll be evaluated. And if he can go, he'll go. If he can't, he can't. But, he's been incredible with his rehab, really having a really good mindset in his approach and just doing everything he can to get healthy.
Coach, speaking to that huge defensive play there by Ronnie at the end of the game, stepping in front of Holmes, getting that huge interception, how much of that is coached by you guys and your staff, and how much of that is just a player recognizing a play and having that high basketball IQ to be able to make that play?
This game, any game, we really rarely want to have 2 people on the ball, and it's a play. If you're beat, it's a switch, so you go to the next man, and he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And it's one thing, to teach it or coach it, but it's the essence of coaching is when they actually do it in the game, and they do it in the game in its most critical moments. That was one of the biggest plays of the game, because it would have been a sure dunk for Holmes if he didn't do it.
Coach, what was it like in the locker room after the win?
It was great. It was great. Our bench at the end, I told those guys with about 2:46 to go, these are the games you live for. When you're old like me, you remember these games in conference, on the road against one of the best teams in our league, one of the best programs in the country. And to just live in this moment and do what you can to get this win. Because when our guys are 50, 60 years old, they can talk about this win. No A10 team, with the exception of VCU, has won here in the last 3 seasons. So it's obviously it's a great program win, for our guys as we're continuing to build this program.
Coach, don't make me feel old. Okay, you're not
No.
that old.
Hey, we
Okay.
got one more question. The guys are dressed. We're ready to go, and Coach Felton and I got to go recruiting. So we got one more
love
question.
Awesome. Does anybody that just joined in, do they like Liam? Do you have a question? David, do you have a question?
Yeah, we're ending on a lighthearted question. So, how do you decide who holds the mindset sign for the
That's
pitchers?
a great
Good
question.
question.
It's our last 2 practices before we leave. Who I thought has had the best mindset. We started off. I was giving it to anybody, someone I wanted to have a great mindset. But these last few games, we've been giving it to the guy that's had the best mindset in our week of preparation leading up to whoever it is.
Hey, Coach, man, we
Cool.
always appreciate your time. You're super open, always inviting us to practice, etc. Thank you so much for hopping onto our space, and we wish you luck here down the final stretch.
Keep
Yeah.
the quarter zips going, and let's pack Eagle Bank Arena for these seniors on Wednesday night.
The quarter zips are kind of
Got
fresh,
it.
right?
Good luck recruiting,
All right.
Coach.
Thanks,
Good luck
guys.
recruiting. I'll be
Appreciate it, brother.
following.
All right.
Love you,
Yeah, go meet that
Coach.
player.
Thank you.
Joe with the "I love you, Coach."
Yeah, damn right.
He's like, you're our golden goose.
Golden goose.
Hey, Liam, good question, because I was always wondering that.
Yeah, I just threw it out there.
Yeah, we needed that, and thank you for setting that up. If that was you, Liam, much appreciated. How awesome is
GK,
that?
baby.
How awesome is that?
Giant
To
killer.
have the coach come through our spaces, chat with us, take
Nope.
multiple.
No one has that.
Right. So I wish.
Right, Frank Martin's threatening to murder us if we're UMass.
I boxed Frank Martin and he beat me
to
up.
my apartment if I had done what I had done at UMass. I would be dead.
Coach said
After we beat him, he beat me up, so I didn't say
Coach
nothing.
said he loves you too, Joe. So just know that you're doing a great job. Now is a good time if you want to hop in and talk about the win, talk about this 4-game winning streak. Let us know if you want a quarter zip. Our man Josh is making some more. So, now is a great time to hop in.
Or if you want to just talk about what Katie just said. I mean,
Right.
there were some great nuggets in there.
One of them.
Go on.
One of them being that they never want to double team. Like they never want to double team the ball, which I thought was super interesting because I think that's something that we're always kind of complaining about. And it's actually something that I said to start the space was that it kind of seemed like we were comfortable letting Holmes beat us, and we wanted to keep them from shooting threes. And I felt validated as soon as he said that because I thought that's what it looked like. Petey, before we get to you, we got a couple guys that popped in first. Go ahead and come off speaker and chat with us.
You talking to me?
Yeah, sure.
So, as A10 fans and basketball fans coming through as a VCU fan, you can boo me, but
boo, boo,
right,
get him.
Rightfully earned. I saw this as like the Oduro versus Holmes battle, and I thought it was going to be that battle till the very last second. But I think it's so awesome for your team that they had to experience Oduro being out and pulling this out and proving to themselves that they can do this shit. Those dividends are going to pay off for the next few years. I think this was a great win for you guys. Congratulations.
Yeah, I actually think that it's a decent sneak preview of what next year may look like, post Oduro if he chooses to, not follow up with Mason next year. So, you got to see sort of Malik handle some bigger minutes down the stretch and other guys step up in Josh's absence. And I think, even in the first half, whenever Josh sat, it was okay. Like it wasn't the end of the world when Josh was out. Obviously, we'd love to have Josh play every single minute, but if this is sort of what next year may look like, it might not be so bad, right? Anybody else agree?
Oh, well, a huge step was when the relief came and everyone was like, "Oh, here we go. We're going to give up a 10-point lead," and they did not give up the lead. Mm-hmm. That was huge. That was the first time this whole season, I think.
It felt good. Our favorite Green Machine member. Go ahead now. Pop in. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm around. My God, was that a Big East team or what?
How do you?
I mean, seriously, without like for those that don't know, my mom went to Creighton before she went to Mizzou. Met my dad, and where Kim English went to go. But and we were playing. We were watching the Creighton Nova game earlier today, and frustrated over that. But like with how much like they get carried by Holmes and what's his face, especially with like the one foul for Cooper, it just like it looked like they were like trying to like flop and do that stuff on purpose. It was just aggravating. But I'm really glad that we were able to do that. That's huge momentum, especially going into Fordham, because Fordham, as we know, has been on one this season. And if we can, Richmond will be no problem a few days later. But Fordham, if we can win against Fordham, that would be huge momentum going into Brooklyn, because as we know from last year, Fordham is not the Fordham Missoula that we're used to. And they've done a really good job following up the last season. And I really hope we can do that. But especially the last few games, like I went to the GW game where I was able to see. I'm glad I was able to see Brian do that. But one person that like I really love that has stuck out, like especially when we've had to like take Josh out, whether it's for foul trouble or whatever. Saquon has been pretty consistent as of late, and I'm really glad for him, because that's kind of like what he's been able to do like since we brought him in, and there's just been quite a few times this season where he's just struggled to like be that kind of like, whether it's like ticket like creating ball movement or whatnot, like especially like on this 4-game streak, like him being able to engineer that and like kind of help in those respects while having about the same minutes as Ticket is huge. So I'm hoping that he'll continue that stretch too. Otherwise, because like we got him, we got G, we got Malik. Wish he could have gotten a point before fouling out, but that's whatever. But like just because like when you like try to foul Josh where you want, legitimately or not, like we're fine, dude. Like we have like Coach mentioned earlier, we have a lot of people that they depend on, and they have the good mindsets about it. They know what they can do, and they're confident in themselves, and if they continue that, we're gonna be just fine. Come Brooklyn.
I'll never forget when you unveiled your Kim English fathead. What was it like to hear him in the spaces? Were you sized?
Yeah, I don't think he's done that in his face like during the season. Maybe at one point last season. It might have been the same night that you were able to get Doc out the door. That one night, like the end of non-conference last year. But it's always good to hear him. And I wasn't able to go to this last coach's shop. I've gone to most of them, but it's been good to whenever we're able to sit down with him, like from a fan perspective, outside of pressers. Like it's really nice to like be able to like kind of like ask him from that kind of like not entirely casual, but just kind of like different experience, and just like especially like after a win or after a good string of wins where you like know you're in good spirits, or especially like tonight where we performed well despite everything, to like kind of like hear his reaction, like hear him just be so pleased with his team. And I hope that we can get more of that. Hopefully we can do what he said, do what we need to do Wednesday night against a very good Fordham team.
Will you be there?
Get things done. So, funny thing, the women's A10 tournament begins that day, and depending on how, I think the last 2 games, women games are finishing up right now, and unless there's like some earth-shattering movement, we're probably going to be 10th seed, which means we got to play day 1. So, more likely than not, I'm probably going to be with the crew that takes the bus up to Wilmington. So, we'll see. Okay. But I can definitely tell you without a doubt we're going to be there for Brooklyn. Rumor has it, we'll go over it more during our trip meeting after rehearsal this Tuesday night. But the current rumor is that we're going to go the entire trip, no matter how early Mason gets out.
I have good news for you, my G Machine friend. From our Mr. Stat guy, Mr. Frank. The women's team has finished in 9th place.
There you go.
So they will not be playing until Thursday.
Oh, good. I was literally about to mention him because I know he's here. But so that's good. Okay, so
you'll be there.
I think we'll be able to confirm that. I will be there.
Perfect.
I will try. One thing I want to try to do is like how I used to do with AJ's fat head, like maybe like make some kind of like hat or something. But
why don't you make a bunch of mindset signs?
Because of the material. But yeah, you know, I'd be nice. But I'll be. Well, that makes me happy even more because I'll be able to be there for senior night, send off people like Coop and whatnot. Yeah. He had a great game too. But I'm especially excited because I think we're going to be going the majority, if not all, the Brooklyn trip, and then maybe if we have time, like I'll finally be able to like maybe if our hotel isn't too far from like where you guys are going to be staying or whatever. I don't know if you guys are going to Airbnb like you did last season.
Hell yeah.
Maybe we can like hang out. It's just like the last couple of tailgates we haven't been able to do it because of like timing or whatnot.
Hey, that's on you. You got to step up, my man. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you hopping on, and I'm glad you were here for that Kim English interview. Petey in the building. Tell me how much you loved Ronnie's performance.
Ronnie was amazing, man. KE's gone, right? Because I want to talk about the sign for a second. I kind of thought
for about 10 minutes.
Okay, cool. I kind of thought the sign might be a punishment. It's like you miss a rotation in practice or something. It's like you're carrying the sign, like we're taking pictures of you. But I don't know, stuff. I guess it's working. Stuff like that seems kind of cheesy to me, though. But no, I thought the I'm just.
I can't imagine you would want him to be gone to say.
I'm just jumping in. I've missed like everything up like until the last question that you guys asked KE. So I mean, I had no idea like what's going to be redundant or what's not, but I think I was like, most of all, I was just impressed by the mental toughness the team showed in this win. It's just like we've watched them fold late in games over the past couple of years. I've tweeted about it a bunch. It's just been a problem, like this team blowing late leads, particularly on the road when they play really well for like 35, 38 minutes. You know, when Dayton took that 11-1 run with like, 10 minutes to go, 8 minutes to go or whatever, to take the lead by 6, I'll admit I firmly thought we were cooked at that point. But then I thought we didn't get a friendly whistle on the road. I think that's like understating it a little bit. And then after, Josh Oduro fouled out with a few minutes left, like I really thought we were done. So at multiple points of the game, I, thought that the things were going to start to snowball and that, it was not going to end in our favor. And I think more than anything, I'm just really, really impressed by, how they kept fighting. I think that's, hopefully it means that they've turned a corner because I can't remember seeing anything like that from this team. I think particularly, I think Ronnie played the game of his life, particularly after Oduro fouled out. And then Malik got a ticky-tack foul. We just it felt like Deron Holmes was on the foul line for every other possession for the last 10 minutes of the game somehow. But no, I think Ronnie hit a pull-up jumper after Oduro went out. We called Coop's number on one of those after timeout plays. He hit a tough driving layup. I just love the degree of mental fortitude that we saw from the guys tonight. I thought it was really fantastic.
Would you say that free throws were massive today? We shot, I think, 75%. Yeah. I think they shot 59%. Would you say that free throws won the game tonight?
Free throws don't matter, you know that. But no,
it was.
But no, so when
it was Ronnie 8 for 8. When Dinkins closed it out.
No, Dinkins balls of steel on that kid, man. He's hit some. That's not even the first time this season he's hit some big free throws. For a freshman, just love seeing that. But no, when I say free throws don't matter, it's obviously they matter. It's overstated, but it's what I find impressive about it is that good teams win anyway. It's about free throws are about putting yourself in a better position as the game goes on. And so, you want to lead by a couple more points. Obviously you want to hit them, hitting them is better than missing them. No shit. But I think good teams like can have a bad night from the free throw line and they'll still win because ultimately teams are playing situations. It's like, all right, we're down 5 with 5 minutes to go, or it's like we're, up 1 or up 2 with 2 minutes to go. Like whatever the situation is, like that's what teams are playing. And it's the same thing with foul calls, it's like, yeah, like Mason didn't get a friendly whistle, like whatever. You shouldn't expect a friendly whistle because you're on the road in, the best road environment in the A10. But I'll get off my soapbox in a minute here, but I just think that the good teams win despite that stuff. So, I think I don't think games really come down to free throw shooting nearly as much as people talk about.
I think tonight
I mean,
it
that
kind
being,
of did though, because we shot. It was like 58%. We
Shut
both
Petey.
shot 58.
of course you do. You're contrarian.
58% from field goals. We both hit 7 3-pointers, but yet we just shot that much better from the free throw line. If Dayton at the end there, I mean, Holmes kind of like he shot really well, and it felt like he got to the line all the time. They shot 27 free throws, which we can say is it was bad repping or not, but I feel like because we matched up 1v1 on Holmes, we were going to foul. Like it seemed like we were comfortable with that because there's no way that you're going to go one-on-one with him, let him catch the ball on the block and not foul him. So it feels like that was
Yeah.
the game plan and it was executed well. There's a couple there, like you don't expect like the Duro charge to foul him out. So, it's like, that one's kind of iffy, but, I just thought we played them really well. And I thought it did come down to just like making big free throws late and Ronnie specifically going 8 from 8 from the line, scoring 22. I mean, that was just
It's not like it's not though. Like where I disagree with you is that like the play that won, if there's a single play that won the game, in my opinion, it's when Mally crossed up Ronnie at the top of the key, gets by Ronnie. Ginnica has to switch on to Mally as Mally's driving, and then Mally tries to pass it to he throws a bounce pass to Holmes, and Ronnie knows that Mally's beat him, and he's got to switch on to Holmes, and Ronnie jumps the pass. Ronnie knows exactly what's going to happen. Like that's the play that won the game, in my opinion. It's like, yeah, it's great that he hit the free throws, but like the free throws don't matter unless you're making plays like that in the first place.
Yeah.
And so like when I say stuff like free throws don't matter, like that's what I'm talking about. Like you got to make winning plays like while the clock is ticking.
And Kim English talked about that. Play. I would definitely go back and listen to it when we post it on the YouTube. He just kind of said like Ronnie knew and made the right play. And he didn't really overhype it. He just said, he was in the right space at the right time, which I thought was awesome. Everybody else, this is a perfect time now to hop in, chat with Petey, chat with Chris, chat with myself, chat with Joe. If you want to kind of chime in and give your thoughts, now is the time to do so.
Hey! I'll shut up after this, but I really respect George and Petey because you guys are great A10 fans. But dude, wasn't there a point where, if I remember correctly, a Dayton dude missed both ends of 2 shots, and then you guys made the next 4 free throws down the stretch?
It was clearly massive. I mean,
right. So come on, Petey.
No,
like,
it doesn't matter.
Shooting, dude. 4 for 4.
It doesn't matter.
Come on.
No, that absolutely did not matter.
Obviously, I'm happy we hit the free throws.
It was just like you look at it, you watch the game, you actually think like, oh, that was unevenly reffed. But we shot 23 free throws ourselves. Like we got to the line. Like we were in the bonus early in the first half. Like I thought, I'm not going to sit and complain. I mean, I thought there was a couple calls there that were a little bit dicey, but we also got a couple. I thought we were bailed out kind of on that Ronnie dive towards the end of the game. I thought it was 2 guys diving for the ball. We got the foul call there. So I was happy personally with the way the game was reffed for the most part. And, I think it kind of fell into what Kim English game planned. Petey, Kim said that they even had a discussion basically within the staff. Some people wanted to double Holmes. Some people did not. And that he said that they haven't doubled the ball at all season, which I guess I never really paid attention to. So I was like, we're crying about like not doubling. Like, I guess that's by design, which I thought was probably the biggest nugget that we got from like a philosophy standpoint. So I think we kind of just executed the game plan well, and that's kind of what
No, I thought it.
that's what we were talking
No,
about.
I thought it was a fantastic game plan. And then once we had, then it looked like we did double after Oduro and Malik went out. We doubled a couple of times, and I mean, we might not have we've definitely double teamed before this season. We might not have game planned for it. But yeah, we definitely we prefer to defend the post 1-on-1 for the most part because we have a few solid big guys where we definitely have the personnel to do it. But no, I mean, I haven't looked at a box score yet. I'm solo parenting tonight, so I would assume that I don't think Dayton even took a lot of threes tonight. I might be wrong about that, but I think that they
I was going to say
they took 12.
7 of 12 from 3. They were 7 of 13 from 3.
they only
So
took
very
they only took 13 threes. That's from a game plan perspective, that's a huge victory.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it strategic to let Holmes feast? He obviously had 34, but no one else had double digits.
Yeah.
Everybody else was. That's a.
carried.
In fact, yeah. I mean, you only have 5 other guys that scored points, even. So I mean, and it's all single digits. So, I mean, I guess that's a particular game plan. I don't know. How do you guys think that KE went into tonight? And how did he coach down the stretch? What were your thoughts?
I mean, I thought he said it.
I mean, I thought
he kind of broke it down for us.
Yeah,
and it worked.
I thought it was excellent.
I feel like he said they never planned to double bigs, not the ball.
Phil, what's up, man? Don't just come in on the sly.
Hey.
What's up, Phil?
Sorry.
Welcome back, bud.
What's going on? It sounded like he said we're not doubling, not that we're not doubling the ball, that we're not doubling bigs, which is different because I feel like unless you're in college basketball, I mean, I have a hard time remembering a big that beat a team on his own. Even in the NBA, it's limited to, the amount of bigs that, beat on their own. And we don't, we can run 4-ish guys out there at the 5 that have 5 fouls to give. So to me, that felt like great strategy and sticking to it through the end, even when Deron Holmes is getting 30 plus points. I'm a scaredy cat. I start seeing that 30 up there. I would have been like, yeah, let's send Gaines at him at every time he catches the ball. But I think it's huge that they were like, nah, let's stick with it. We just got to still play man on everybody else, and we're going to get to the finish line. I really appreciate that kind of commitment to the game plan and belief in the guys, that they can execute it.
We got players coming in. We had the coach in here earlier. This is a beautiful thing. This is George Mason. We are Mason Radio. We are where you go to for George Mason basketball content. Ticket, Saquon. If you guys want to hop in, please feel free. Again, great win tonight, and just a fun one. Just one that was a nail biter down to the finish. We definitely. The times there was like, are we going to pull this one out? And we did. And it was on the road. It was a place where not a lot of A-10 teams win at Dayton, and that was awesome. Saquon is now a speaker in the building, giving us huge minutes. You can come off mute. We've already talked about your first half performance. Really kind of keeping us together. We felt like a guy now that is kind of doing it all for us. Saquon, can you talk about what it was like to get a win at Dayton?
Yeah, man. First, I appreciate y'all for having me come on. It's loud on the bus right now because we had a great win. But, yeah, man, just being that spark off the bench, helping my teammates, bringing the energy and just doing the right things, discipline, having that mindset of getting stopped and ball. So, incredible win today, man. The energy in the building was crazy, but we overleaped that and we got the good W.
How are you able to hold it together in an environment like that? Super loud, a Duro on the bench. How were you able to kind of hold it together there at the end?
Yeah, man, just our huddles, man, coming together and letting them know it's a mindset thing, one play at a time. Even though we was getting a lot of fouls on the other end, when adversity hit, what we gonna do? We gonna punk down, or we gonna get back that next play. So that's what we did. We took it play by play, and like I said, we just came out with a great W.
Do you think the adversity you faced throughout the season is helping you now?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely responding off the adversity. We responding off the adversity for sure. Yeah, we needed this, man. We needed this wake up call. We know we're a great team when we playing great together. When we playing together, moving the ball, defense. So, man, crazy one, man. We all needed this.
Hey, Saquon, what was the vibe in the locker room after the win? What's the bus like right now? How are you guys feeling overall?
Oh, the bus is crazy. I don't know if y'all can hear it. We going crazy. Locker room, crazy screaming. Just nah, you hear everybody in the background. But yeah, this is crazy, man. Let's go. Good environment. Playing in front of thousands of fans and stuff. Roadkill, man. That's what we can say. I think Ticket's gonna get on next.
Hey, Saquon, what's the first song you guys are bumping when you're trying to get hyped after?
Oh man, hey. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Are you bumping like Just Wanna Rock, or what are you playing like right now after a win?
We'll be playing after a win. Some Young Boy. Yeah, we playing some Young Boy, NBA Young Boy. You gotta play that. You gotta play some New York music. So
I love it.
Turned up for sure.
I love it.
Turned up.
We're gonna let Ticket in here now on his second appearance on the By George Talk with the Space. Ticket man, what's up? Obviously, you've had an impact since returning. Talk to us a little bit about this win.
I just feel like this win is like a program win. Dayton is a great team in our league, and anytime you could beat one of the top 4 teams in your conference is always a good vibe and good win.
I think you played almost all but 2 minutes today. How are you feeling post injury, getting a ton of minutes?
I'm feeling fine. The minutes I'm playing, I'm comfortable with. Coach trusts me to be out there for that long, and when I get tired, I just try to think of ways to bring myself to a place where I'm comfortable with my conditioning and things like that. But playing those minutes, I'm very comfortable coming back from an injury. Probably not shooting as well as I want to, but I just try to do other things on the court that translates to winning. And I know that the work I put in the gym is going to come to light at some point. So I just keep focused on doing the things that I know that can help us win.
Ticket, how did you guys respond after the Duquesne loss? Was there sort of did you guys hit a wall where you guys are like, we've got to really bounce back to sort of salvage this season? How did you guys respond after that Duquesne loss, and how do you explain this 4-game winning streak?
Oh yeah, that was definitely an ugly loss for us. That kind of hit guys hard. Losing that bad, probably like people described as probably one of our worst games here in the past 2 years. But I felt like guys after that game just came together, just got closer. We sat and talked about it, what we need to do to, like you said, salvage the season and then find ways to win games. And I just feel like the last 4 games we just can't get closer and closer on the court, off the court, playing more for each other, and just giving yourself up for the team. And I feel like every guy on our team has bought into that, and it's translating on the court.
Petey or David or Joe, you haven't gotten a chance to ask a question to a player or coach. Do you have anything you want to ask?
I just want to ask Ticket about the game plan. It looked like preventing them from taking threes was a pretty huge part of it. They only took 12 threes tonight, which I think from a game plan perspective, that's a big victory. Like you're not even letting them get shots off from three. But then on the other end of it, Deron Holmes, it means you're single covering Deron Holmes, and he's giving us buckets all night long. Like, how does that does it feel hard to stick to a game plan when something like that's happening?
I think it creeps into your mind where, like, you see a guy scoring a lot, you want to adjust to some things, but I mean, I feel like we felt like that wasn't going to beat us. They have great shooters that we wanted to keep off the 3-point line. I think Kobe Bryant got open for a few, but other than that, we didn't give him looks from three. I mean, Deron Holmes did his thing in today. Got a lot of free. I think he shot a lot of free throws today too. But I feel like we never panicked when we got down. I think we were down 6 or 7. But guys in the huddle just looked at each other, just ready to play, knowing what we were going to do. But it definitely creeps into your mind. You want to change things quickly when you see a guy scoring, but you got to have the discipline and things like that to just stick to what you know translates to winning. And I feel like that's what we did tonight, despite him having that many points. I don't think it was enough to beat us.
Love it, man. Bus sounds fun right now.
Yeah, everyone's yelling and stuff.
Yeah, that's all I had. If anybody else wants to jump in.
And we've had multiple players now pop in here, and we just, for the players that are listening, we just want you to know that, like, we do this for you. Like, we want to promote you. We want to showcase what you do. We want to, like, get you as much hype as you can. We want to recruit the next players. We want to help with that. So, we just want you to know how appreciative of your hard work that we have. And not only that, but that's why we put out the graphics and put out the content, is for you guys to be able to enjoy it too, to be able to look it up after a game and see your stats or see what you've done. So just really appreciate you all, especially those who have come through. Like Malik has hopped on before, Tickets hopped on, Saquon was in here. I know Coop has been in and out. Kim English was on earlier. We've had other coaches pop in. So this is fun, and that's why we do this. And really, we just want to build a community at Mason, and you guys are forever a part of that community. So just know, if you ever need anything from us, please hop into our DMs and let us know. If we don't have any other questions for Ticket, we can let him go party. We don't want to, take up too much of your guys' time. But if there's anybody else out there that does have a question for Ticket or does have a question for Saquon, request to talk right now and hop in and ask them a question. It looks like maybe Joe, do you have a question for Saquon or Ticket?
Yeah, I got a question for Saquon. A little bit more of a lighthearted one, but I got a question for him if he's available.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. As a part of Bronx, Bronx resident, what's the best pizza in New York City?
Best pizza in New York City. Jeez, that's tough because New York got the best pizzas. It's probably a pizza around my neighborhood. It's called Top Banana Pizza. If you search it up, Top Banana Pizza is in the Bronx, New York, in the Soundview section. I'm gonna take everybody out to eat when we go to the Barclays, and free pizza on me. Well, free pizza.
All right.
Yeah, right. I'll believe that when I'm there, Saquon. But pizza's on me though, for real.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate like everything and your heart and dedication. I mean, you mentioned coming off the bench, and sometimes that's tough, and you've embraced the role, and you're making a difference right now. Like, this 4-game winning streak is aided by you and your play and your defense and your contribution on the squad. So we really appreciate that. And like I said, if anybody else, like Phil, if you got a question and you want to pop in, feel like now's that time. I see Josh Aduro in here. That man's a bull. That man got double-digit points, like how many times this season? Got to be first team A10, a baller so far. So, Phil, if you have a question for a player, feel free to hop in and ask it, or just kind of chime in and chat. And then anybody else, if you want to hop in, now's the time to request to talk.
Sure. I had a quick question for Saquon. Kim has talked repeatedly over the course of the season in every press conference, I feel like, about process and practice. And it's clear whatever you're doing in practice has directly correlated to what's happening on the court. What do you feel like you've brought to practice and to prep that has contributed, to both your increase in minutes, but also just everybody's success on the court? It feels like there's a lot of glue happening when you're on the court.
Yeah, definitely. You pinpointed it. Really just having that energy, man, off the bench, man, being that leader that Kim recruited me as, being vocal and just coming to practice every day, using that practice as games. So yeah, man, I'm grateful, man. Yeah, Coop in the back, man. I'm grateful, man. I'm just happy to be on this team, making this run. And really, it's just not me, man. It's everybody. It's my teammates, man. Everybody from first number 1 to 15. So I appreciate them. We're gonna keep rolling this ball, man, and keep moving, keep winning, and we're gonna translate it over to the Barclays.
And you've been at a couple different places now, different places in the country. Are you enjoying your time in Fairfax? Be honest. If Fairfax is lame, you can call it lame. We all went there. We all grew up around there to some extent. Are you enjoying your time in Fairfax?
Nah, definitely enjoying my time in Fairfax. I'm close. I'm close to family now. I'm 4 hours from the Bronx. I was always in the Midwest in Kansas and New Mexico. So really just being close to family, we gained some brothers from my teammates, and like in days like this, get that W and go home back to Fairfax and lay on my bed.
Hey, that's for real. Petey, David, now it's time to pop back in. Joe, if you want to carry the show for a little bit, the time is now. And then if other people want to pop in, it's time. I think I've said everything I needed to say. I could go to bed right now like my boy Saquon and be pretty satisfied with the evening. But I'm also game to sit here and chat with you all and listen. So, hop in here and let's keep it going.
So I'm curious how much and I guess this is for like any player that's listening. I'm curious how much you guys are like aware of the conference standings, and you're still alive for a double bye in the tournament. You're still alive for a top 4 seed. I guess I'm just curious, to what degree do you guys think about that?
That was a good question, but me personally, I don't really look at the standings and stuff, even though I think I should. But I think we're taking a game at a time. But a double bye would be great for us for sure. But yeah, we trying to get these last 2 W's and just come in strong in the Barclays. So wherever we at in the standings, I feel like we're gonna move up, and it's gonna give us that spot going into New York in the Barclays.
Yeah. No, it's awesome because one thing is that the Mason, we now have the tiebreaker against GW, and it's felt like we weren't going to have the tiebreaker against them because they beat Dayton earlier this year, and so when teams split head to head, the tiebreaker becomes the best common opponent, and so if GW was 1-0 against Dayton and we were 0-1, then they would have the tiebreaker. But now I think since we're both 1-0 against Dayton, it goes to like LaSalle or something like that. So I also think it makes the Fordham game important because if we beat Fordham, then Fordham might be the tiebreaker. But yeah, I mean, we're like A10 basketball nerds. We spend way too much time looking at this stuff. I was just curious if the players even care. If you guys even think about that stuff.
Don't get me wrong. We definitely care for sure. But
yeah.
I appreciate you guys. We got to have on this.
All right, one more question, Saquon. Saquon, one more question.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
Did you touch the ball at the end of the game?
No, dude.
It wasn't even close.
There's no shot.
It wasn't even close. There was a definitive camera angle.
Yeah. Even the ref seeing it. I said, come on, ref. We know I ain't
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Saquon, we appreciate you, man, for real. Keep grinding, and you're a Patriot for life. So, this is one big Mason family. If you need anything, you're looking for, references, whatever, just hit us up, man. This is this is a family. We're building a family here. And you're part of that family.
Appreciate you
Sir,
guys.
appreciate you guys. Mindset, fellas.
Mindset.
Hell yeah.
So,
Get home
see you
safe, y'all.
guys.
See you Wednesday.
Appreciate you.
Well, that was amazing. Again, having players hop in. I mean, so far we had Josh, Malik, Cooper, Saquon, Ticket, Coach English. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Starting to wonder about the guys who haven't jumped in.
they think
character concerns.
they don't got that right mindset. But we got guys who usually hop in. So if you want to hop in, time is now. What's up, Jonesy?
Let me ask this question though: is this the biggest win of the Kim English era?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. We can comfortably say that. Just being away.
It's not the Maryland
huge
game?
late.
Still,
well, this
still Maryland.
Oh, Maryland.
But I mean, an out of conference game versus a 14,000, University of Dayton, that's a big.
Was
game.
Kim English right that the only team that's beaten Dayton in the last few years at Dayton has been VCU? They don't have any other losses.
Yeah, they said that on the broadcast.
God.
I mean, we're not calling that the biggest win, and Maryland fell apart. I mean,
well, I think two things can be true. That can be our biggest A10 win, and the Maryland win can, I think, be our statement win for recruiting.
Sure.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. But man, what a win! Whew.
Joe, how are you?
It all feels so good.
How are you feeling, Joe? Are you tired? You've been probably working all day.
No, I'm not. I'm not even tired, man.
Joe,
I'm just gonna keep going.
Just blowing rails right now.
I am so happy, because it was like, I think, like Jonesy said earlier, it was just like, it was a great game of basketball. Like, that was just a fun game to watch too. Like, it was just fun to watch that game, and it's even more fun that we won. So, yeah, just feeling good right now.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think a lot of us here may have watched some Fordham this last week or so, or some of you maybe have been watching them all year. But what do you think our chances are at home with Fordham coming in on a senior night?
Pretty
what
good.
What are we thinking? Okay.
Pretty good. Fordham is like, I don't know. Fordham's tough because they're like, I don't know. Fordham's okay. They're like 146 on Ken Palm right now. They played the single easiest non-conference schedule in the entire country, and I think pretty sure they also have the easiest conference schedule in the A10 right now, or like one of the easiest. So, you see that 22-6 record and it looks like intimidating, but they've played a bunch of nobodies all season long. They are like 7-1 in 2 possession games right now. I was looking it up earlier. They've just I think they've played a weak schedule. They luck has been on their side this year. Yeah, don't get me wrong, we definitely could lose. They're like a disciplined team. They play hard. They defend well. They got Darius Quisenberry. He's a dog. He could give us buckets, but it's not like by no means is it an unwinnable game.
You're calling them frauds.
Fraud them.
I was not impressed when I watched them against Rhodey today.
Rhodey almost beat him at home.
Rhodey almost beats everyone.
It felt, which is fair. That's a fair point from Jonesy, but it felt very sloppy to a certain extent from Fordham. They never consistently got going. They would get up by 8 and then it would immediately go straight back down to 1 again. They were never able to.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I would say it sounds familiar, doesn't it? But it was never. It was. I don't know. They just didn't seem there were just things in there that I was like, man, and it didn't seem that impressive. But I think you could say that about us too at a lot of points.
I mean, don't get me wrong. They're good. They're I would say they're probably pretty evenly matched with Mason. So they absolutely could come in one Wednesday and beat us, or could even kick our ass, maybe depending on how the team comes out. But they're like the 22-6 record is a lie, and I think they're probably going to luck box into a top 4 spot in the A10 this year.
Petey, you said that they were like 145 KenPom. What are we, like 143 or something?
I think we're 140 after today's. We got like a 12 spot bump after the Dayton win.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're like
two very middle of the A10 basketball or middle of the country basketball teams. Yeah. So KenPom has it 4 points for Mason. So spread's probably going to be 3.5 for Mason.
God, we should have bet this game tonight. Fuck.
Daniel, if you're there, I just asked you to speak. If you're not, it's no big deal. But I would love some clarity on where we're at in women's hoops. We're 8-8, but yet we're still in the bottom 6. Like, what is going on there? So if you can just give us a quick breakdown on what's going on in Mason hoops. I think we need some of that because we had our best season in however long, and yet we're still going to be playing.
We haven't gone not negative in almost 3 into 4 seasons.
I know it's. I didn't get a chance to watch this game. I was at GW tonight, but I pulled over driving back to watch the final few seconds and saw Dink hit those big free throws. Just a great win for Mason, honestly. Just nice to see some winning ball again. I mean, Mason hasn't finished above 500 in a hot minute, I think, at this conference. So just being up there in the conversation for double bye is just a nice change of pace. Right now, so I ran the tiebreakers. Mason is in 7th behind GW because of the whole tiebreaker crap is so messy this year. But basically, because ties break in descending order, GW Mason, to break the tie, you treat the 8 through 11 block as a monolith, and you just run the records of GW and Mason against that block. So GW for tonight is 4-3 against the block, and Mason is 2-2. Now this will change again tomorrow when Bana, Joe's play each other, and so on. But even just being top 7 is just great for Mason tonight. And also shout out, as long as I've got the floor real quick, I want to shout out Mason women, finishing 9th place, 8-8. Which is a massive. I mean, this is a team that 2 years ago didn't win a conference game. So to turn around so quickly, finish out of the pillow fight in year 2 for Vanessa Blair Lewis is a hell of an accomplishment. So great weekend for Mason hoops all around.
And then real quick, why are we doing so much better now? What is it because of recruiting, coaching? Like what's because I have no idea.
For the women, I assume you're asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a little bit of everything. We still have some of the original players from the previous coach. We've done a lot of great work in the portal. We've got some good freshmen that have come in. It's basically just a combination of everything. It's not to run the buzzword again, but it is a little bit of a mindset thing. I think also just being the team being more prepared each time they step on the floor and truly believing that they can win games. I think that was something that has lacked at points in the past. And I mean, they ended the regular season beating 2 of the top 4 teams in the league, which is pretty damn impressive for them. So good stuff there.
Nice. Good shit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, year 2, the rebuild has definitely gone according to plan, especially with it's unfortunate that we didn't get like 100% of Riley Childs, but definitely throughout this season, there was flashes of it last season, but definitely this season, like we have a narrative of no matter
who's been the best player for us on the women's team this year, Dan?
The team just refuses to die.
Who would you say has been our best player?
There's a couple of people that.
There's a couple, yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell sometimes, but I think definitely at times it's Taylor Jameson. She's a really good range shooter.
Sonia Smith has got to be in the conversation. Paula Suarez has made a huge jump.
Rookie of the year.
And Nalani Kasia. Nalani Kasia is also going to be up there too.
Nalani Kasia.
All right, good to know.
For those of you who don't know, look, this is Nalani Kasia's first collegiate year in basketball.
If we win our, I guess the non-play-in game against LaSalle, I think we'd have. Is that what I saw on your
Yep.
Your tweet, is it LaSalle?
It's LaSalle.
Okay. We beat LaSalle. Is that the first time Mason goes to Friday in forever, it feels like?
Yeah, it's the first time ever. Mason women have only won one conference tournament game since joining the A10, and it came last year as the first 14 ever to beat an 11.
Jeez.
So that was the first conference win ever. So any win would be historic for Mason, especially because, it would put us in the quarterfinals.
All right, I love it. Thank you, Daniel, for hopping in, giving us that quick women's recap. I'm going to try to convince Daniel to hop back on some writing and some content creation going next year. Daniel has an internship at the National Zoo, just opened up the bird cage. I'm hoping to make my way there. Daniel, we love you, buddy. Thanks for hopping in, giving us that quick women's take. Alan?
Good stuff, y'all. Good stuff.
He punches animals after Mason loses.
Not true.
just the spiders.
I see Alan just pop back in. We got other people here that usually chime in. Now's the time. If not, I'm going to go ahead and end this pretty soon here. Only so much I can say. I mean, I'm pretty much on a high.
I want to know if anybody else liked the matchup against Dayton. I wasn't expecting a win tonight, but I tweeted this yesterday. I saw the line. It was like 10 points is way too many, especially when you look at the personnel. Like Oduro can play with Holmes. We can guard Kamara credibly because we can throw Ticket, or we can go too big and throw another big at him. Like, I wasn't expecting to go in there and win,
I was pretty
but I didn't hate the matchup at all.
At that was a weird line. I felt that was a weird line from Vegas.
Yeah.
Did anyone take advantage of it? Hopefully someone won money on it. I mean, it seemed.
I think Andy said he won money, right? But it went up to 11.5. I mean, it was just kind of insane. But I also just kind of assumed someone else would step up outside of Holmes. Like they just kind of it felt very reminiscent of our offense where we just kind of run through Oduro, but like every single possession was just going through Holmes, and it's fine, he did get his, but no one else stepped up. I was just kind of shocked, and credit our defense and our game plan, but like I don't know.
Where the hell was Mustafa Amzil this game? Because he's been here for a hot minute, a few years, and he's
Ticket
just,
shutting down Kamara for the most part was huge for this game. Like the fact they weren't able to get him going was massive, I thought. Because part of the reason that Dayton's been so dominant recently is because he has also been on a massive tear.
Yeah,
and
Kamara.
They just were not able to do that tonight.
Kamara only took 4 shots. That's surprising. I felt like Kamara played pretty well, but I'm looking at the box score now. Definitely would have guessed he would have took twice that many shots.
So is Sully sulking right now?
Without a doubt.
Boy.
I mean, he talks so much shit about Mason joining the A10, Mason just always being overhyped to go into Dayton and get that win. And we always play Dayton pretty tough. We almost beat that Obi Toppin year. We beat them at home another year. I feel like, we played the Anthony Grant teams pretty well. And so, I actually agreed with Petey coming into this one. I felt like we matched up well with them. And now hearing Kim's game plan, and I mean, that was great information. So to be able to find out that the staff was debating on what to do, on whether to double or not, and they ended up sticking with their guns. That was awesome. That's completely unique to have. What other coach is joining a space? I hop in Curry spaces all the time. I hop in any other random A10 ones. I never see a coach in there. So the fact that we had a coach and then 2 players answer questions, multiple players have come through. I mean, this is the place to be. So that shit was awesome. I'm still on a high. This is almost better than the game for me. To have everybody pop through, it just shows that all the work is not for nothing. So I appreciate everybody. I mean, it's 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. No one's got anything better to do tonight than to hop in this George Mason space. I mean, I appreciate you all.